Hey all, it's Abroad on a Budget, and it's been a very, very long time since I have checked in, and I want to tell you where I've been and tell you where I'm going and talk about where I want my channel to go in the future. So it looks like it's been about a year since I have uploaded a video, and it has been several months since I've wanted to upload another one, and I didn't feel like I could upload one without talking about where I've been and what's been going on. But frankly, it's incredibly personal and private, and I didn't really want to talk about it with the entire internet and a bunch of people that don't know me. I started this channel absolutely inspired by Sarah from Budget Girl and the way that she used her real numbers budget, the way she was vulnerable and open. She was just sharing her journey, and it looked like by putting it all on YouTube, she got an incredible amount of support and encouragement and motivation, accountability, and all of these things that come out of sharing your story with other people who are going through the same thing. And because I had had the past experience with being a little bit burned by my experience with Dave Ramsey and then struggling with unemployment and then feeling like I'd kind of lost my way with finances, I thought that starting this channel would be a helpful way for me to focus myself on that, and to maybe, even if I could help one other person and inspire them the way that Sarah from Budget Girl inspired me, then it would be worth it. What I didn't count on was that whenever you start a YouTube channel or a blog or an Instagram, that you're opening your life up to the entire world, to strangers. And I went into it wanting to have total transparency, absolute freedom to talk about everything, to talk about my budget. And then the things that have happened to me in my life and to people I care about in my life over the last year were just things that impacted me. It impacted other people. It impacted my coping mechanisms. It impacted the money I was earning. It impacted the money I was spending. It impacted what I needed to spend money on. And everything really came down to a variety of factors that I couldn't explain why my budget had changed so much without betraying the privacy of not only myself, but other people. In some cases, things that were going on with me at work that I am compelled by law not to talk about. It has been one of the hardest and most stressful years of my time living and working overseas. And the intersection of this last year with undertaking a huge goal was absolutely too much. I didn't even come close to meeting my goal. And because I didn't come close to meeting my goal, some of you guys knew I wanted I was aiming for 15,500 saved over 18 months. I didn't feel like I could talk about not meeting my goal without justifying why, because I'm a perfectionist and I'm a very organized person, and I very rarely don't meet my goals. I can probably count on one hand the amount of times in my life when I've set out to do something and I didn't meet it. And this was one of those times, and it was big and it was bad and it was demoralizing. And I just felt like I couldn't explain that without giving the whole backstory, and I just can't give the whole backstory. And then I thought to myself, well, the people who can relate to just absolute unexpected life things happening, the people who can relate to, anything that you can imagine that can happen in a human life, to yourself or to others you care about, or in the course of working closely with people, those people would have compassion regardless of if I gave all the nasty details and broke down crying and explained everything. And the people who wouldn't have that compassion, they would probably still say I was making excuses, say that it wasn't that big of a deal, and then they would know my deepest, darkest secrets and they would still judge me. So what I've decided to do going forward is to say, I didn't meet my goal. I know why I didn't meet my goal. It was an incredibly hard last year, and I learned so much from it about how to pivot better, about how to cope better. I got outside help for myself. Other people got help for themselves. There was so much growth that came out of it. And in fact, it inspired me to completely change my entire life. And the realization that I had of what I needed to do and just how drastic I needed to get to supercharge me into a better financial position, it motivated me to seek out a new job and to accept a new job. So I am moving to Kazakhstan. And I will talk about that more in a future video. And I will go ahead and preemptively say, no, there's nothing wrong with Sweden. I am quite sad to be leaving Sweden. But this is one of those times where I know I need to take advantage of an excellent opportunity and I need to step out of my comfort zone. And if the things I want are kind of so beyond the parameters of my life now, then I need to move outside of these parameters of my life now. My friends here have become my family. I enjoy the pace of life here in Sweden. But there is another level of opportunity that I have the access to, and I have the privilege to access it because I'm an international school teacher. And that came in the form of an international school package at this school in Kazakhstan that I quite simply could not turn down. And it came at the perfect moment when I was reeling from feeling quite bruised from not meeting my financial goals. So I'm actually in the middle of my living room right now, and all my stuff is in various stages of being packed. I have Marie Kondo'd my entire apartment. I mean, probably 5 times now. I've gone through it every single month and just dug through and gotten rid of and donated. I had a final dinner at my house with like 12 or 13 of my friends, and I just said, well, look around and what do you want to take? Take it. And I've had friends slowly coming and taking things. I had a friend come get my plants and my lights, and somebody else is going to come get my bikes today. So it is summertime here in Sweden. My visa is ready to go. My trains and boats are booked. We'll talk more about why there's not a plane. And I'm only taking what I can carry with me to Kazakhstan. It's about to be a new chapter in my life after an incredibly difficult year that I feel like I have grown more in the last year than I have in the previous 10. And it has been filled with challenges that felt at the time that they might just break me. But it afforded me the opportunity to grow and to learn and to change my behavior, to cut certain things out of my life, to add certain things into my life, and to really take a hard look at how do I want to live my life, because none of this is guaranteed. Health problems, random accidents, how do you want to live your life? And I am realizing that if I'm presented with an opportunity to rectify the circumstances of this last year and to have a new experience, then I'm going to take it, even though I am really scared. I have moved countries 4 or 5 times now, but it never gets easier. For those of you who have moved a lot, you're always stepping out of your comfort zone. And I am about to step out of mine big time. So there's going to be some updated videos for y'all. There's a much older video where I file my Swedish taxes in real time. I have recorded some videos about this decluttering process that I've made in getting rid of all my things. And once I get settled into Kazakhstan, then I will be talking about how I'm going to be changing my budget. So the best thing I can say here at the end is sometimes you fail huge, a big failure. And it's incredibly frustrating when part of it is outside of your control, and then part of it is the way you struggled to handle these situations outside of your control. And the only thing you can do is move forward. There's a common refrain in the debt-free budgeting community of people who fall off the wagon because they get quite overwhelmed. I was watching a video from Well Behaved Wallet, and she was talking about how she's very much an all or nothing kind of person. And, when it's all going well and you're so motivated and the wind is in your sails and you feel invincible. And then when it's not going well and you feel overwhelmed, then everything can become quite bleak. I am moving forward with a much better understanding of how to deal with the bleak times. And I am proud of myself for taking advantage of this amazing opportunity. And it makes me realize that in many ways, I was reaching for a lifestyle and a philosophy that was fundamentally more difficult to achieve living here. And while it would have been possible, it's a lot more practical and achievable by making this move and taking this new opportunity. So in upcoming videos, I'm going to bring y'all along and see where I go from here. I'm not sure quite where this channel is going to go in terms of regularity of updating. Moving to Kazakhstan is probably going to take a lot of my time, but once I get settled in, then I'm going to bring you guys along on the journey of getting settled in there. And I am also hoping to make some videos on how to get the most of international school teaching and how to maximize the earnings that you're making, because it is not all the same. It's quite drastically different. Thanks so much for checking in with me. Thanks for your patience. I will say that I am disabling comments on this video just because if people are supportive, then I feel that, and thank you. And if people want to berate me for not sharing the nitty-gritty details of a horribly trying time in my life and the financial implications of that, then I don't want to have to wade through those comments because I find that quite stressful. So I hope you understand, and I will be checking in with y'all in the next video. Thanks for checking in with me. Bye.